Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Man, okay, this may sound like not a big deal, but this is a huge deal. Supreme Court justices are very important when it comes to our voter system, our voter base, our districts where they district, Democrat, Republicans, and all this stuff. And so, if you have, and also we've seen when it comes to activist judges, some of the things that Trump is trying to do. Was wow, this is you really got to be careful who you put on the bench. And I don't know much about the Democrat judge, Allison Riggs. I don't know much about the Republican conservative judge, Jefferson Griffin, other than the fact that I usually would lean towards the Republican conservative because typically they seem to have a more favorable way of sustainability when it comes to the long term of everything. Democrats are pretty unhinged. And so, she might be one of the good ones. I don't know. But unfortunately, she's cruising on the ship of people who are fools. I guess we'll put it like that. What's happened here in North Carolina, which is very important to me because this is a state that I live in, is that there is a 734 vote victory in favor of Allison Riggs, so she claims. And then so Jefferson Griffin, says, wait a minute, hold up, guys. Let's look into this because when you have a margin of victory that thin, even after a recount, it does constitute some more investigation to see what really happened. And after looking at what with ballots and other things through an investigation, it was found that up to 65,000 votes that were cast, and I assume the article doesn't actually stipulate, but I assume the 65,000 votes are across the board of Republican and Democrat. So maybe they're not just, I read the article, but it doesn't actually say. But 65,000 votes are to be questioned as their legitimacy. In other words, what it means is that some of these people didn't have photo IDs like required. There's state law that was violated. Some of these people weren't legal citizens allegedly by what was found and being proven in court. So in North Carolina now, all 100 counties are sending out letters to the voters for them to prove their legitimacy, prove they actually exist. And so this could be the determining factor. Wisconsin now just recently elected a Democrat radical judge that will more than likely be utilized to facilitate a redistricting, which would then put more Democrats on the bench, which would then facilitate the possible impeachment of President Trump. I think he understands this very well. This is why he's living to the last minute and doing everything he can as quickly as can, because he even tells people in his cabinet, he says, live every day like it's your last. We've got to work hard, guys. And so it's ironic as I go on a little bit of a rant. Your presidential and political power is endless when you want to destroy this country, but when you start to try to move things in the right direction and dismantle a power structure that's geared towards tyranny and what you see with the radical left, you see lawfare at every corner, stopping you from trying to right the wrongs that's been done. It's pretty ironic to me. I've said this before. So people say, well, the president has limited power. I said he does whenever he wants to do the right thing. If you want to do the wrong thing, you can do whatever you want to do. And we've seen this many times. So I think that this is a very important race that needs to be looked at very closely. And if I'm watching a race on TV, like a drag race, not a RuPaul drag race, but a real one where he's running his cars with slick tires and big motors, I want to see Jefferson Griffin win because he's a conservative judge. And so in North Carolina, I look forward to getting that letter so that I can prove my legitimacy because I did vote for him because of his background and the way he's made decisions and rulings in court. He's tough on crime and he's fair. And I don't know a lot about these people. Just what I've looked into their background so far as their voter base, and I didn't even look at the Democrat because it just wasn't even. It was kind of pointless. But I'm just kind of getting that out there. He's and what's happening, by the way, and watching what I see happen. Mainstream articles are trying to smear Jefferson Griffin and trying to move the court of public opinion in a certain direction. It's ironic that nothing's coming out about her. There with him, they're saying, oh, he had taken a picture wearing a Confederate outfit, trying to, they're playing the race card, and it's very dangerous to society considering the fact that we're all humans and we all need to exist. And so they're trying to move the court of public opinion so that they can try to, make rulings on that. You can be ruled in favor in court, but when you take your seat, nobody likes you because you've been smeared the whole time, which then kind of like stifles a lot of the hard work that you're going to put into what you're doing. Look what happened with Trump, and look what happened to a lot of people who are great and care a lot about America, but have been vilified through the court of public opinion. Uh, so if you do good, it doesn't even count. It's pretty wild how that works out. But that's nothing that doesn't surprise me. So just kind of keeping an eye on things. I'll keep you guys informed what's happening in North Carolina. But this is huge, guys. It's made it this far, and to the point where they're actually going to send out letters of people to require their voter base to state their actual legitimacy. This is great. I hope that it works out. Of course, the media is going to smear it and try to make it look like it's some sort of like intimidation tactic. And, it hopefully doesn't work on people. People may be awake enough now to see what's coming, what's behind the door. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a wonderful rest of the day.